This will be the section on creating the superelevation and transitions for Route 50. So we're going to go back into the corridors file from our project, and we're going to open that up and we're going to create a new file from here. And we'll do no wizard if it asks. And then this is going to be a 2D file. So that's the default one that comes in. So we're just going to name it J5P055 underscore superelevation.dgn. And this is the new version of ProjectWise in this section, so it automatically fills out the file name for you. And you can click OK, and we'll actually create this new blank file. We'll check in the corridors file. Once this one opens, we're going to reference in a couple of drawings. So we'll go up to the reference dialog box. And we're going to go in here and Tools, Attach. And we're going to take a look at the civil geometry and the plan file. And we'll say OK to that, and then OK to the corresponding dialog boxes. So OK to those two. Then we'll close out the references and fit the view. Then you should see your alignments. Now let's take a look at the Road2 manual here. And it wants us to take a look at the superelevation runoff and widening. And you can see that basically from this location here, we're going to have a transition, and then it'll be in full super during the constant superelevation. So that's kind of what we would be looking at after we get superelevation applied. So we'll come back out to our drawing now. And in our drawing, we're going to go over here to the superelevation tools, which there's a whole roll of superelevation tools. The very first one there allows us to create superelevation. So we're going to create one down here for ramp 2 to start. So we'll name it ramp 2. And then you can left click to accept that and come down and select the alignment for ramp 2. And once a beginning station, so we're going to go all the way back to the beginning, 0 plus 0, 0, and accept it. And then we're going to go all the way to the other end, 16 plus 55, and accept that. Then it wants the minimum tangent length. We're going to put 10,000 in here so we only get one superelevation section. Once we hit enter on that, it's going to ask us to give a lane name. We're going to do ramp 2. It's going to be a primary. It's going to be on the left side and 0 offset. And then our width here for this particular one, we're going to put in 12 and accept that. And our normal cross slope, we're going to put in 2% and accept that. That fills in the whole entire dialog box. And you can also see if we kind of zoom down in here on this ramp 2, you'll see that it drew in those lanes. Okay, then we're just going to come out here on the screen and we're going to right click because we don't want to add any more lanes, and that should take us to the next step in picking the standards file. So we'll pick the triple dots, and that is going to be out on the T drive, so we hit cancel for ProjectWise, and it should look out here on the superelevation folder on the T drive. We're going to pick that English 2011, and then we're going to come out here and fill out the rest of the dialog box. So we're going to do the drop down. This is 8% at 40 miles an hour. We're going to do all cases, and it should fill out the design speed for us. We'll do linear. Number of lanes is 1, and then this is going to be an undivided. And we can take a look at the editor by putting a check mark in this box when we're done. Then we'll come out on the screen and left click to accept everything that we filled out in the dialog box. So open editor, yes, and accept that, and then you will get the superelevation editor to pop up. We can take a look at this, and you can see that we scroll out here to the right just a little bit. We can see we've got a negative 7.6% max, and the station that runs from and to. You can see those two right there. Okay, so we can close out of that dialog, and you should be able to also zoom in and kind of see that we've got a radius on this curve down here of 587.65. If I look in my radiuses here in the superelevation rates table, at 40-mile-an-hour speed, you can see that we've got a 628 and a 583. So we want to go with the smaller radius number. So we go down and we've got the 7.6, and that's where that number comes from. So we're good on that particular one because it fits right in there. Okay. If we take a look at the next portion of this, we've got the transition distance of the mainline pavement in the transition area before the PC location of the ramp 2 curve. So we're given this information in here. The distance from CC to the PC is L minus L3, which is the 120 minus 2%, times 2% divided by 8% gives you 30 foot. And so we're going to round that up to 50 foot. And so the distance of the auxiliary lane have no transition from 2% to 3.8% at the PC location of the ramp. So it has to transition from 2% to 3.87 over that distance. So if we take a look at then the minimum radius for design superelevation rates, we've got a radius on that first curve, which is right around 1030. That's the one we're looking at. I think it was 1040. But that 120 then is what we get for that 120 number out of the book. And you can see that's from that 1041 radius. Okay, so all the numbers match up to the numbers that we have in the EPG. And so what we can do is we're going to go out now and open up that corridors file. And we'll go ahead and check in our superelevation. So the superelevation for ramp 2 looks like it matches up really well with what we have for standards. And so we can go ahead and bring that into this file. If we're going to take a look at the cross section for Route 50 real quick and see what it's doing out there. So we're going to pick on the cross section tool, and we're just doing a left and a right here after we pick Route 50. And then we're going to go out there and set the interval, and all you have to do is go into window 8 and left click in that window, and we will get the cross section view for Route 50. Okay, as you can see right now, it's straight across there. Okay, there's no point controls, so there's no superelevation or anything. Let's put dimensions on here. So if you right click and hold in that window, get place temporary dimensions, you can come out here and place temporary dimensions on the points that are out there. Okay, so I'm just going to come out here and put all these different dimensions out there. I've got two 12-foot lanes for sure. What I want to do now is I'm going to right click in this window, locate station via data point, and I want to get down in here this ramp 2 area where I can see some of that auxiliary lane transition that we put in. So now if you place another temporary dimension line, you should get an auxiliary lane out there at that location. You can kind of see where that line is in the plan view, but somewhere around that station, 453. And I can go to 451 plus 40.67. I can go to that station. That's kind of where ramp 2 begins. So we can take a look at that right where it begins. And we've got that 0.001 out there. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and left click on the corridor for Route 50, and we're going to put in a parametric constraint. Okay, in the parametric constraints for Route 50, we're going to put the start location at 450 plus 90.67. And that puts a little line there for us. And then our stop value, 451 plus 40.67. So that's that 50 foot back that we figured in the manual. Okay, and what we're going to control is we're going to control that right auxiliary lane pavement slope that we did earlier. and we're going to make it go from negative 2% down to that negative 3.87. And that's what the superelevation table was showing us. So over that 50-foot distance, we need to go from negative 2 to negative 3.87. So we accept those values, and then you should see in the cross-section window now, at 0, it starts at 3.87. If we go back stations, zoom in here a little bit, you can see that it is now transitioning. So we're at 2% there. As we go back and as we go forward, now we're 2.35, and then right there at 0 on the ramp, we hit that negative 3.87.